Let's backtrack the road to that success. A lot of times, those roads to that success do not require a degree.
It's called begin with
But-
the end in mind.
But politically, like you said, one party says, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, you can do it any way possible. The other one says, this is the only way to go and be successful. I don't believe either one of them believe either road, because a lot of those bootstrap people got a lot of degrees hanging on their wall, and their children's degrees are hanging on their wall. And a lot of these people with the degree path, they got some kids that's out there with trade school stuff on there. So
Look, I got 2 hanging on my wall.
They're being paid.
And it's like, okay, great.
what is it doing right now? It's collecting dust.
It's
You have
got
to
dust on it, yeah.
And that's what it is.
Podcast twins. I am still hot from the last episode, but before I talk about that and we go a totally different direction and talk about something a little lighter,
Yeah.
Vince, tell him.
Hey, first of all, I'm already got his blood pressure under control. We're trying to keep him together.
I'm going to be okay.
But what I'm going to tell you guys is, first of all, welcome back. Always welcome back. And we always welcome you to make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube and follow us and share, and make sure you hit the little bell icon at the bottom of that YouTube page so you can get notifications whenever we post anything, whether it be a clip, whether it be a short, whatever it is, you'll get that notification. And one time for all my Spotify listeners, make sure that you try, when you do pull over, leave a comment, tell us what you like, tell us what you didn't like. Definitely hit subscribe and follow, because without y'all, it's just us. So we need y'all to follow and subscribe. Anyway.
Make a comment. Tell
Definitely
us you
make a
love it. Tell us you hate it. We don't really care,
It doesn't
but
matter.
send it to someone who will love it. Send it to someone who will hate it.
Yes, that's all we want. You know, if we can get that out there, then I think life would be so much better in this world. So
Yeah. So last 2 episodes,
Okay.
we talked about COVID shots, which are now somehow on the childhood vaccine schedule,
insane.
which should make you even madder.
Insane.
And then we talked about, right before that, how basically the dollar's ending and the U.S. is going to get crushed.
Yes, and how if you're not invested in metals, that you're going to be involved in the Great Take. And listen, those episodes, if you guys haven't seen them, please do yourself a favor. Go back and watch the Russ Cohen episodes 1, 2, and 3.
And I'm going to re-listen to them, but I'm going to put a blood pressure cuff on. I need you to borrow me a blood pressure cuff, and we're going to test it every 10 minutes or something.
So listen, all of those things are good. So make sure you catch up on the podcast twins. You'll figure out why his head just turned beet red.
I'm
You didn't
fine.
even notice it.
I'm going to be fine.
Today he's better, so he's calm. He's actually.
I'm not fine, but
you see, we got him water instead of coffee.
We need
coffee.
no
today.
coffee.
No coffee today.
So you got something else you want to talk about. So let's tease that, and then let me show you what's in this case right here, because I brought you a present today.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say the decision-making process of these celebrities / athletes / whatever, anybody that's in the entertainment realm. Because if you guys are familiar with what happened out there recently, you got the Shannon Sharpe incident again. First he had the accidental IG, which became a sex tape, and now he's got charges being brought against him civilly, not criminally, of misconduct, rape, all these other things like that. And so to the point where he offered her $10 million to just be quiet. They were like, no. Mm-hmm. We want the full, $100 million or whatever the lawsuit is. And this lawyer who has had a history of suing celebrities in his fashion, like the Jay-Z situation when he claimed, said that he was with the 13-year-old. Jay-Z attacked him back, and next thing you know, that whole thing went away. He's got issues with Diddy. He's done this several times. So, is the lawyer just establishing that I'm in it for the big bucks, chasing down these not so smart celebrities and see if how big their defense team is, or is it like Shannon said? He said it's a pure setup. He figured he was set up from the beginning because this young girl who's 20 years old, he's 54, or 50. I'm sorry, he is 56 or 57. She's 20.
Okay.
Of age, little gap in between, but whatever. Probably had his growth sparks going on, so he was able to perform to the top of his abilities. But either way, how do you set yourself up like that? This girl's an OnlyFans star, and
And I'm going to tell you guys that I don't care at all about this stuff, and then me and Vince are going to argue about who cares and who doesn't, but that's besides the point. But before, and I love your Shannon Sharpe impersonation.
well, he ain't talking about Skip though.
And like making fun of a guy with a lisp may get us in
Well, that's
some
okay,
hot water.
that's what he is. Shannon Sharpe been Shannon Sharpe.
But it's a great impersonation. I think you
if
practice
you're looking for
it.
Stephen A. Where's Stephen A?
But so in honor of our carnivore ways, I made you some potato chips that have no potatoes in them.
Oh, I'm gonna like this.
So we can hold these up for the crowd.
Okay.
So this is actually made out of a chicken skin that I ripped off of a thigh before I cooked it.
Okay, the
And
chicharrones.
it's got a little, it's chicharrones
this
is pork,
but
but
chicken chicharrones.
so while Vince tastes it, I didn't invent these obviously, but I accidentally made these on a camping trip.
I love it. We do this on Thanksgiving with the turkey skin.
I figured you had them
Yeah.
before,
Well, because
so
we do it, we have the deep fryer at the station, and
totally get it. I didn't make these in a deep fryer. I actually put them in a cast iron skillet.
Okay.
My favorite way to cook anything.
absolutely,
And then I stuck them in the oven at 200 degrees until they got crispy.
this is a good
Because
way.
I like crispy stuff.
It's a good way to break my fast right now.
So I'm going to be buying like chicken skins in bulk from a butcher in Hollywood. And we're going to make a lot of these.
There's no argument from me.
I figured you'd be okay with it.
loving
So, chicken skin potato chips.
Wake my brain up.
comment
No.
recipe and we'll send it to you.
Chicken skin chips, because it's not a potato.
It's not a potato.
So it's a chicken skin chip.
I did not. No potatoes were harmed in the
No
making
potatoes
of
were
this
harmed in
chicken.
the making. Absolutely, no, that's good.
All right, good.
Well
So,
seasoned.
I made Vince happy today
Yeah.
because we needed something a little lighter.
Yeah,
so,
we got to go light.
So before Vince goes into some shit I don't care about,
Right, 'cause I'm
because
going.
pop culture, I think that people have been so desensitized by all the bullshit they see on TV,
Mm-hmm.
and they're getting to the point where everything is just looking like it's all fake. Right, it's all
Okay.
fabricated, fake. Like this whole Shannon Sharpe thing could just be a bunch of shit that they throw at the wall because they're famous, and Skip Bayless and him are on TV. They've been in controversies before, whatever. But it's just a distraction from the all the crap they're doing behind. And we're gonna have Sam back on here,
Yep.
and I'm gonna light Trump on fire.
Okay.
But not for the reasons that people light him on fire
But
in the news.
But isn't he technically pop culture that just happened to cross over into politics?
100% accurate.
Okay.
But people want to listen to it.
People want to listen to it. And look, I will say this before we even go back into Shannon. I will go back into this and say that this guy Trump is without a doubt one of my top favorite presidents. All the presidents I've ever liked was because they gave great sound bites, because they just were, you had the all the way back to me being a kid with old Ronnie, old Ronnie Reagan, he was hilarious on the mic. Then old W, his writers just gave up, because he'd start reading and he just pushed that to the side and say, well, look here, besides this, the man who tried to kill my dad. So when he started into all of that kind of stuff, I loved it, because when he would go off script, man, it got good. And so the guy that we got in before and now 45, 47, same way. Man, he haven't met a mic that he don't like. And, so I that's why I do appreciate it, because if nothing else, it gives me great things to kind of figure out how we're doing it. I love it.
And a lot of the stuff looks good on paper, but what's actually getting done? But we're not going there today.
Okay, we're not going to go
Why
there
don't you
today.
talk
You sure?
about your
'Cause-
pop culture stuff? We'll fight about why it's important or not.
Well,
and then,
it's not important. And the reason I'm even bringing it up at all is how do you, and I believe he's 57. How do you make a 57-year-old decision to not protect yourself legally Just, listen,
It's easy to
you're a
answer.
single guy. You can go out there and do whatever it is you want to do, but you don't, at this point in time, you got one of the most successful podcasts in the world right now, the on his platform that he owns exclusively.
Okay.
You got a great job as a commentator on ESPN on a couple of different shows. You're doing extremely, extremely well. Why, like every other country, continent, war, why would you let that little piece of wonderful split ruin this opportunity? Why are you not carrying around a briefcase full of non-disclosure agreements or, hey, agreements that it is what it is, this is what we're doing, hit the checkoff box before I touch any part of you? Why are you not protecting yourself? So that's where my head goes. But as far as the public caring, it's not that they care, because you are desensitized. Everybody is, because it used to be a shock when things hit the fan. But TMZ changed the game way back in 1994 when they chased and they got all of that OJ live footage. TMZ changed the game.
I mean, it's not a hard question to answer for me.
I get it. We already know what your answer is, but I'm saying for the public is that we've gotten used to being overexposed and over-informed about things that don't matter to our personal lives.
But it doesn't matter to our personal lives, right? If he has to pay $10 million or $100 million,
right,
I could care less.
Right.
It has nothing to do with me.
Right.
I'm not involved in it. I'm not emotionally or intelligently involved in this story in any way.
Right.
However, what I will say is the question you asked about how does this happen is an easy one to answer. You think with your brain,
yeah,
or you think with your other brain,
yeah,
and I'm pointing downward right now.
It just depends on which way the blood flows.
And successful men that are in positions of power can do whatever they want in their minds with no repercussions.
Listen, these people that got these, and again, if you got a good, successful OnlyFans page, that's great. That's good for you. Way to take advantage. I hope you're saving and investing your money, because it don't last forever. But
I want to know where all the money's coming from.
Oh, they come. Their subscribers are dropping that, whatever it is, $1.99 to $5.99 to $10.99. They're dropping that every single month. Some of these young ladies are making ridiculous money, 20, 40, $50 million a year on OnlyFans, because people willing to subscribe to feel like they have their personal interactions. You can be a foot fetish dude. Man, listen, there's some sick bastards out here, some sick puppy dogs out here, and it gets worse. So, and people will pay for what they want to see. Remember, we became a culture that lives from home behind the computer.
That's a horrible way to do
so
things.
It is, but I still say that people have gotten accustomed to following the personal lives of any celebrity or anyone who is a celebrity. And this guy's a Hall of Fame tight end, again, with an amazing platform and still having an ESPN regular job. You're making money hand over fist. But again, you're gonna let that little piece get you caught up. I don't understand the theory. And again, speaking from the media side racially, you got one shot. Once you blow it, you're excluded.
What do you mean speaking about it racially? Elaborate on that.
Usually when black men or women, they get that great shot, everything is good. But when they have that mess up, there's generally no comeback. And that's a historical thing, and that's fine. It is what it is. That's
so you're saying you get one chance, and then
one chance. You got to make it. You got to make it happen, and because you traditionally haven't gotten a repeat chance to make. You don't get a chance to have mistakes falling forward.
So you're saying that white guys get away with mistakes and black guys don't?
I'm saying that historically in the media they have.
Okay. So, all right. I mean, I don't know that much to tell you you're wrong or right.
Yeah. I mean,
but
it's you have the luxury. They historically of falling forward, getting up, dusting yourself off, and saying, "I'm sorry, come back, let's do it again." But again, that's fine. It's like in sports, same thing in sports.
No, and I get it. I mean, look, you see a guy like Stephen A. Smith, because you're talking about ESPN,
yeah.
and everything that comes out of that guy's mouth it's about race. It's about race. It's about race. It's about that guy shouts about race on every single topic, and I look at it and go, okay, enough is enough. Not every issue is a racial issue.
Okay, and I'm good with that because every issue is absolutely not a racial issue, and I don't know if I can agree with him.
Not everything he says, but like
But-
any sense, like because he's going into politics allegedly, so everything that they put out there, yeah,
What?
I know.
No,
You didn't know about that, huh?
Stephen A.
Don't do it. It's a trap.
Look, stay on the show with me. Me and you gonna continue to rise all the way to the top, Stephen A. Please don't go into no politics, Stephen A. You too good at what we got going on right here on First Take. And then I bring you on the Club Face A, and then I come on to the Stephen A. Smith Show, and we just gonna keep taking care.
Just
and
keep him away from OnlyFans,
keep
because
him
then
away-
he'll
yeah,
be right under
Look,
the bus
we don't use none in my phone, and plus I bring Ocho Cinco with me. We'll do it again. Anyway, I hope he don't go into politics. That'd be one of the worst decisions he can make. But on the flip side. So there's two schools of thought when it comes to Stephen A. When it comes to those issues, you have those that say, "Hey, like Allen Iverson, he reported on Allen Iverson, and Allen stopped talking to him, and he was like, "Well, what do you mean? Why are you? I'm a journalist." He said, "Well, but we're cool, and the story may be true." But let somebody else break the story. Why did you have to be the one to break the story? So again, you have to be close enough with those athletes to where they'll give you insight. But at the same time, you have a journalistic responsibility to report the truth. So
You're gonna tell me journalists have integrity? Because I'm gonna push back on you on
I
that.
said that they have supposedly the integrity of the journalistic integrity, but at the same time, like he says now, in later years, 30 years later, he was like, I probably could have held off on that story, but what would that have done to my career?
If Stephen A. goes into politics, you would love him as a politician because he would have the sound bites, he would have the memes, he'd be shouting from the roof because he gets loud, right? Like we get heated and
Yeah,
our voices rise, but every topic he talks about, he's screaming at the camera.
Well, he's a New Yorker.
I'm okay.
So
I like New York. My
that-
parents are New Yorkers.
Listen,
I'm okay with
he's
New York.
a New Yorker. So therefore, just the emphatic way he talks is just normal conversation. And then he can get hyped and then he can elevate. So yeah, I get it. But like when he first came on the scene, I was like, who in the hell is this guy? When he first came onto ESPN, and I mean, Matt, that was right after we had lost Stuart Scott and all that, so it was a whole different ballgame.
Stuart Scott was great.
Oh
with,
still a legend, still a
Oh
legend.
my gosh. What's the guy? Not Olbermann, the other guy. Dan Patrick.
Dan Patrick, man,
Yeah.
hey, and Patrick and Oberman. Anyway, that's
And they're all politicians too now, right?
Hey,
All they
well,
talk about. And the guys on Fox that used to be in baseball and stuff, that's all they talk about now. I forget their names.
Because the money, they followed the money. The money at that time wasn't in sports. The money was to go over there and have the Keith Olbermann show on and have a political show. Although he came back. Anyway, Stephen A. And again, so the other knock on him is certain players he won't dog, but then he just spoke some truth, what he felt was his truth against LeBron. LeBron took it personal, actually confronted him at the court, about talking about his son. Hey man, look, that's still my job. I as a journalist should report certain things, even though I have a personal relationship with you.
I tell you,
so
LeBron,
I would hate to see him as a politician.
LeBron is great at acting. But anyway, let's move on from him because I don't want to talk about LeBron. He's a punk.
So pop culture issues, and again, here's why I think that it has become such a huge thing in society over the last 30 years. Like I said, from the OJ situation, when the rise of TMZ, basically if TMZ don't report it, it ain't true. That's the way it's been in pop culture since OJ. And it was the rise of this company of paparazzi, pretty much the same paparazzi that killed Diana in a car, chased her down there to the point where they lost control. But America has become enthralled with the personal lives of these people because you have cameras everywhere. And now everybody is their own cameraman with your own camera. So if you're in a restaurant and there's a celebrity over there, you're recording him at your table instead of having a conversation with the people you're with. As a whole, not as a Drew, we know Drew would never, because he don't give that much of a damn about it. But I think it's a design situation to keep you distracted from all of the other important things going on. The more you're paying attention to this crap going on out here, the least likely you're going to pay attention to what's going on in the market and vaccines and all these other things.
Well, that's the circus and bread, which we don't really eat much bread, so why should we pay attention to the circus?
Because circus is fun. Circus is fun. Who doesn't like to go see everybody like that, man. Everybody likes it. I get it, but it's very difficult because even I get full of it so fast now. But I feel like I have to watch it because we have a podcast to report on. This is a part of it, as we don't have a format, so we talk about what's hot sometimes.
All right.
And this is boiling ass hot. So we don't know, but maybe this might be the one that gets people interested because they want to hear the pop culture. I tell y'all what, I'm gonna challenge you. Put all kinds of pop culture stuff in the comments so he has to pay attention. That would make my life so much better. Because, see, that would be the reverse. That would be the reverse. See, because what's the one thing? Y'all know I don't like the P word. But then I would think we've had already 3 or 4 P shows already. So let's do some pop culture.
But everything gets politicized, right? Like everything could be, even the transgender thing about men and women's sports. Why the hell is the government even involved in that? Why is the government telling the NCAA to let a woman that identifies as a dude to fight in the boxing in the NCAA? Like, where do they think that anything in the Constitution allows them to be involved in that conversation?
Well, okay. This is gonna
I don't think it's political.
But if you go down the rabbit hole and you start to figure out, it was the same way that these things began to get implemented through Hollywood and all of this other kind of stuff. I mean, you got to look at the agenda. There's got to be an agenda at the end of all of this. And what is the point of that agenda? That's where we're all hoping to find out one day. Why? We'll stick in the sports world. In sports, I don't care how many years of reversing drugs you've taken. If you started out as a man, you are going to have an completely unfair advantage competing in any sport where it's a physical demand. So whether it be the swimming, because your feet are bigger, you're going to have natural flippers when these other females have. Even a big-footed woman might have a size 10 or 11 for a female. But a big-footed man that decides he wants to switch over might have a 13, 14. That's an extra 2 or 3 inches of flipper. You got natural reach. You got bigger hands. And even though you soften the muscles with the drugs, you're still going to have an unfair advantage. Track and field, absolutely insane that they allow transgender male to female, because I don't know how to really classify it, how you allow that to compete. Now look, you can do what you want with your life and your body. That's fine, well and good. We've already made the adjustments in the bathrooms, right? So now it's like, hey, okay, we have an open bathroom and an open bathroom, or a man, woman, and then family or whatever. So that don't even bother me as much, because again, you can go in there with the lock or whatever. But when you're talking about direct competition,
why is Congress involved, Vince? That's the question. I appreciate your comments. I understand your point.
But I'm at the root cause of it.
But why is Congress involved in this?
Because somebody complained, and this is, I remember a few years ago, that because I feel like I was born in the wrong body, whatever the case may be. I'm trying to. I don't want to quote it.
It doesn't.
But hold on. But it was a complaint brought to them that I should not be restricted from participating in the sport that I love.
You want the real answer?
That's what happened. No, that what happened, and that was the first time I saw any political person respond to that. And I was absolutely devastated and shocked when I heard them actually give a response to that, because I felt like you. I'm like, why is that a congressional issue?
Why is that and I can tell you why. The same reason everything's a congressional issue. Go like this.
Of course.
Go like this. Money. That's the answer for everything Congress does, like we've talked about before. Mm-hmm. But then, you going to college. I had some guys on my podcast, on the On Par podcast, mm-hmm. and we were talking about their business and their networking and golf and all the stuff we talk about on Par. Mm-hmm. And they were like, listen, we got to get it approved by the company before you send it out. I was like, no problem. I had done that 50 times.
Right.
Like, hey, they can watch it, they can mm-hmm. listen to it, they can say, hey, here's my permission to publish it.
Right.
Great. I got a call back, and look, the CEO said absolutely not, because, and I'll tell you what I said. I said college is not for everybody because half of the people flunk out their first year.
Which is a fact.
Which is not political in any way in my mind.
No.
But they looked at it as a political issue because apparently Republicans think college is a scam.
Okay.
And Democrats think it's the best thing in the world for everybody.
Yeah.
And like, how does that even happen? Money, right? The politicians who get paid to say one thing, say it, and the other. I mean, it's all smoke and mirrors.
It is smoke and mirrors, and that is, first of all, I tend to agree with that statement, but politically, it's not the right thing to say.
And that college is not for everybody?
Yeah, I agree.
Of course it's not.
Of course, and it's been proven. I mean, it's been proven time and time and time again. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a quick story. The secretary of where my kids went to high school, I was in there talking to her at the end of one school year for whatever particular reason. And she was busy as all get out at the end of the school year and throughout the summer. I'm like, why are you so busy at this time? Said, because Mr. Bell, we have to go and get the transcripts ready because these kids are coming back home because they washed out at Florida State or they washed out at Tallahassee Community or Gainesville. They're coming back home. It was too much for them, either too much financially or just too much there, or they flunked out, whatever the case may be. And so the parents are going to try to do them locally. And she says 50% of those still don't finish at any level. So it goes to show you that it's not for everybody, at least at that time. Because I think in order for you to be successful going to college, you have to have a why. If you don't have a why that you're going, then you'll just be a lost partier that's going to just be up there spinning your wheels and spending your parents' money. And so that's why I said, even on a previous episode, that I start here. Let's see what it is you want to do, and then let's backtrack the road to that success. A lot of times, those roads to that success do not require a degree.
It's called begin with the end in mind.
But politically, like you said, one party says, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. You can do it any way possible. The other one says, this is the only way to go and be successful. I don't believe either one of them believe either road, because a lot of those bootstrap people got a lot of degrees hanging on their wall, and their children's degrees are hanging on their wall. And a lot of these people with the degree path, they got some kids that's out there with trade school stuff on this. So
look, I got 2 hanging on my wall.
They're being paid.
And it's like, okay, great.
What is it doing right now? It's collecting dust.
It's got dust on it, yeah.
And that's what it is. So I get it. Success does not end and begin and end with a degree on the wall. We already know that. What do they say that people with master's degrees work for the high school and college dropouts? Because those high school and college dropouts become the entrepreneurs because they have no choice. They get out there, they hustle, they make it happen, but they have a drive. Their drive just didn't translate to formal education. They go out there and they build these companies. It may take them 4 or 5 companies, but eventually they make it happen, and then they hire that master degree, doctorate degree person to come and do a specific job under them. So they're receiving the check from this college dropout.
Right.
So again, I get it, but Congress getting involved with the sport thing on this side here, it's all smoke and mirrors. So you can even tie that into almost a pop culture situation, because they're making it television mainstream to have this conversation on why we should have these former men competing against these current women.
This is a great setup for when we bring Sam back, because I got a whole lot more.
Yeah, well, and you know, that whole...
I can't wait to have
so
Chief Sam back on here.
That is going to be a whole different subject matter, because I know what his answer is.
I know where his answer is.
But even with that, it's how can you say, no, you can't compete against women without being called discriminatory? That's the issue.
Look, how is Harvard getting subsidized millions of dollars when they're a business that makes tons of money, and now they're suing the current administration for taking the funding that they shouldn't be getting anyway? Like, why do we need to fund Harvard when it's a private institution that people are paying ridiculous amounts of money to them?
Because the top 1% takes care of the top 1%. What are you talking about?
I mean...
And then when you get into the 1% of the 1%, yeah, that's a whole different ballgame that you're talking about right there, because they're suing because they're like, well, I had this study that was building that was taking taxpayer dollars to do all these studies, and the study now is shut down. They won't get a result. So they're shutting down parts of their...
So they're getting paid to make up science, and then now they're mad about not getting paid to make up science.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, again, that to me, and you go and get a degree. So you get a degree in research, and I'm like, so you don't ever have to find anything, and you still can get a great living out of this? I'm like, man, what a hustle. Think about that. You we'll pick the big C. You've been a C researcher for 15 years, 20 years. You ain't made much, but we're getting close. We're getting close. But I haven't really discovered anything. I haven't really concluded anything other than C is real. And this is how we're going to move forward. I'm just saying that's great to me. I'm like, that's the ultimate hustle. I'm like, look, quit being a drug dealer and go out there and go and get because you can still hustle the same way. Are you kidding me? No disrespect to the researchers that's out there trying.
No, there's disrespect. Screw that. I got some malice in my heart.
And I'm gonna tell you why I say no disrespect, because the hustle was created and you took the road to hustle. So therefore, you did your job. You are trying to move into the pimp category. Pimps up.
Congratulations, you're a hoe.
But you're moving into the
Congratulations, you're a hoe. All right. So now what, Vince? Now that I derailed you completely.
I'm not completely. Hey, listen. I'm saying, opportunities are opportunities. It's the college situation. I coached a bunch of kids over my years, and yeah, a ton of them went away to school, either to play ball or not. Probably 55% of them actually finished at whatever level it was. But most of them have come back, and some have come back and done trades. Some back and come back and just picked up a regular job every day. It's to me, it's going to be a matter of where you're motivated to be.
Look, if you want
where you're motivated to go, and how do you plan to get there? I think that exposure, and I said that before, the lack of exposure does not help you create your why. If you've not seen successful people in your life, you just think success means because your grandma said you got to go to school and then success will find you there. Success don't find you. Success does not find you unless you're 6'4", 285 pounds, and you run a 4.5 Success will find you. Other than that, if you're a normal human being going to school to do some normal human being garbage, you better figure out why you're going to do what you want to do, or else your road is going to get extremely hard and extremely expensive. And if you don't have a secure why as to what it is you're trying to accomplish, damn it, you're going to be right back home saying, welcome to whatever fast food joint. May I take your order, please?
Well, I mean, look, if you want to go work in corporate America for a big company and try and climb the corporate ladder, you're going to need the degree because you have to check that box or else you forget about it.
Right.
But if not, if that's not your why,
Right.
then, like, I look back, I went to college because I was told I had to go to college.
Same.
Right? Grandpa and grandma and mom and dad said, you have to go to college or else you are going to be a nothing in life.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't quite like that for me because I was among the first, even though you got to remember I'm the super baby, so I had a niece and nephew that went to college ahead of me because they were older. But prior to that, them going away and graduating right away, that was the first group in my family who had gone away and graduated right through, and then I followed right behind there. So, but my road was different because my why was baseball, because that was how I got to school. Now, I was not a dumb kid, but I didn't really understand. I had no corporate dreams. I didn't know a corporate person that was doing anything significant enough for me to want to go into corporate America. At that point, I didn't know any doctors other than my pediatrician, who was an old dude, didn't really excite me. I didn't know anything other than what the pop culture television was showing, which is how my first major in college was architecture, because Mike Brady from the Brady Bunch was an architect and his house looked cool.
Okay.
So I had no understanding of what it is I wanted to do. All I knew is that I could go play ball and get school paid for. So boom, that's how I got there. If I didn't have that motivation to go there to play ball, to stay eligible, I probably wouldn't have done it. And that's just being honest, because nobody in my circle was really making that thing push.
And mine was kind of wonky because it was the same, but it was also opposite. Because my dad was the first one in our family to go to college.
Okay.
And then he went to law school, and he had a 27 or 28 year career in corporate, right? Working for Burger King, working for KFC, doing site selection and real estate negotiations as an attorney, working for AutoNation as an attorney, right?
Yeah.
Big corporate companies.
Yeah.
But when I called my dad when I was a junior in college at Indiana, and I said, hey, Dad, I think I want to go to law school, he didn't encourage me to go to law school. He asked me questions. He said, okay, well, you're going to get your degree from a top business school like we wanted you to.
Okay.
Great. Indiana was the #1 business school in the country at the time, Kelley School of Business.
Okay.
Whatever ranking, however they rank them, it was one.
Right.
And
it's a whole hustle.
And I got a degree. Great. But before I got my degree, I told him I want to go to law school because I love my dad. I look up to my dad.
Absolutely.
He's a mentor. He's a friend. He's a business partner.
Right.
He and I run our networking group together. Yeah, I mean, he's the man.
Right.
And he goes, well, do you love school? And I said, no, I hate school. I'm only in school because you guys told me I had to go.
Right.
And I go, I've always hated. I hated school in elementary.
Yeah.
I hated it in middle.
Yeah.
I hated it in high school. College was different because I could balance making sure I got good enough grades to graduate.
Right.
And having fun.
Having the fun.
So, you just talked about
Right.
it. And he goes, well, do you love reading books that they assign you? I said, no, I hate reading books that they assign me. I'd rather read a book by Dale Carnegie or, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Kiyosaki or something like that was recommended by one of my uncles or somebody else that kind of served as a mentor. And I enjoyed those books. And he goes, well, you're not going to read any books you want to read in law school.
Yeah.
So I made the decision not to go to law school.
Great decision.
And so my dad saved me from 3 years of pain and agony, and I didn't see it at the time, but I listened. Fortunately, I wasn't 18, so I was starting to listen to him again in my early 20s.
Right. The hearing was working.
The hearing and the internalizing what I was learning.
But at least you had some frame of reference to strive to.
And then I got into corporate and I freaking hated it. I was miserable.
And that was my thing. So as I'm coming to be a senior in college, okay, ball is wrapped up, I'm done. I graduate my school only had a spring graduation.
Okay.
So everybody, no matter when you graduated, everybody walked in the spring. So I graduated in December, and I'm just knocking around. I'm putting applications in everywhere because again, I have no idea what it is I want to do. Because my family was in dry cleaning in Chicago, we owned dry cleaning. That was my initial thing to go back because my business. I became a business major after I left Jackson State when I transferred down to Florida Memorial. So once I got my business degree, the whole thing was, you know what, I'll go back home. But in the meanwhile, I'm waiting on graduation. I'll pick up a cool job down here. Maybe I'll even test out corporate America, see if I can help parlay that into help my family business. So, application processes started going around, interviews going around, and I'm sitting around there interviewing for places like Steak and Ale. Remember those places?
I remember Steak
and Ale. As a manager now, I've never served a dish in my life, but through my family business, I managed a lot. So even as a small child, even as a young child, that was where we learned that hustle. But either way, the guy told me, he said, man, you what a great interview, man. This is great. I'm really enjoying this. He said, but being as though that you literally haven't worked in this environment at all, I strongly suggest you go and spend a little time in here, then come back and see if it's for you. You can come right back to the manager's interview. But understanding that, same thing. I went into this industry, that industry. I had probably 30 interviews, which I had some very cool mentors that I was able to set up from the school. Interviews with these other industries, but as I got into them, the only one that halfway piqued my interest was the hotel industry. Why? Because I've been to hotels. I never cooked. I never, did some of these other things. But my scope never really took me into anything that piqued my interest. And now I'm 23 years old, 22, 23 years old. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And so, but that is a lot of college graduates. That's what a lot of these degrees hanging on the wall and these beautiful plaques. I think the numbers is somewhere like 47% are actually working in their field, which means 53% of all college graduates are not working in their field.
I mean, my degree's in finance. And I ain't working in. The only calculations I do is the percentages, and that's like simple math that I learned in 4th or 5th grade.
I damn sure ain't working in my field, although I do implement certain areas, but I've done outside things that maybe 2 or 3 classes that I took in school have helped me out. But the degree looks beautiful sitting on my wall.
Well, my son is 16. My ex-wife and my mom don't agree on anything except for that he should go to college.
Okay.
They literally will disagree on every other single topic in the universe. We're talking about mom and ex-wife here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they will go out of their way to disagree on every single topic on the universe. And I'm trying to tell him, look, and I don't know if he's going to listen because I'm his dad and he's 16.
He's 16.
But I told him the other day, I said, look, you know what? You hate school as much as I did. And it's stressing you out and making you crazy. And he's a good student. He's committed. He's got his head down. He's doing well in school. He's in, senior and junior level classes as a sophomore.
Okay.
So good for him for, sucking it up and doing the work. Because he's doing higher level work than, his age should be or whatever.
Right.
But I told him, I'm like, look, if you go to college, you're going to be doing work all the time, right? Because they're going to give you a book. They're going to give you an assignment. You're going to have tests just like you are now. And then, the hard part sometimes for a lot of people is balancing that with the party side of college.
Right.
And the social side.
Which is necessary.
And it's valuable if you're networking, is my argument.
Absolutely.
But I tell you, the kid's going to wind up in a sales or business development position.
Okay.
Because he's a freaking replica of me personality-wise.
Okay.
That's going to be his career.
Which is great. So why not let him go to a business school? So, and here...
I could give him 12 books to read that he would get more value out of it than going to a business school.
I 1,000% agree with him. I only said that because of the valuation that people have when they see that thing on the wall. But But here's my thing. College itself is the best thing for you if one thing happens. if you ain't got to pay for it. If you got to pay for it, it ain't the spot to be at. And how does that work? Because if college is free if you have the grades, college is free if you are athletic and you get these other things. Whatever way it becomes free, I say go and take that opportunity to go meet a lot of people across the country, to go network with people. But don't just go to party. Literally go to get the network. That's the biggest thing. I still have friends literally coast to coast that I met from college. We just had a friend's birthday party in Chicago this past weekend. I wasn't able to attend. I was away in other places, but he literally had people fly in from across the United States to come celebrate a milestone birthday for him. But that's the kind of stuff that happens that you meet in college. You meet lifelong friends. Hopefully you meet some great partners that you can bounce off of. So college is great, but it's got to be free. So that means you can't come out of high school with a 2.0 and think you're going to get an academic scholarship. No, you need to go and do something. If education is still what you think you need, then stay home, get your grades up where you can get a scholarship to go away or even to stay at home. But damn it, paying for education, I'd rather buy these books that's on his shelf and my shelf at home, because you're going to have to learn a different hustle. But when you get out and those bills start rolling in for $50, $70, $100, up to $200,000 for an undergraduate degree, and now you're an art major.
Yeah, I don't get it, man.
You're an art major. What are you going to do with that?
Teach art at an elementary school? I don't know.
I have no idea what you're going to do with that. But my point is that
I thought art was just a way to launder money for rich people.
Yeah, which is amazing. I can't wait to get some.
Some rich people or some art?
Both.
We don't endorse laundering money on Podcast Twins. No,
but I
for entertainment only.
But I am a dry cleaner. So anyway, by trade.
Oh my goodness.
But really, man, it comes down to it when you look at this. You come out here with this degree, and your job, your starting salary will not even...
It's 1/8 of what you spent on college.
Will not even pay you. Even if you stayed home, it would still take you an average of 20 years to pay back a student loan for one undergraduate degree. So that means you can't have your own place, you can't have a nice car, all of these other things, unless you come off and you're in one of these STEM programs where you're a doctor, scientist, engineer, mechanical, something big. The average graduate takes them 20 years to pay back a student loan. So yeah. So show me you want to go to college.
I mean, I'm 5'5", 160, so I wasn't getting an athletic scholarship.
Probably not getting.
Fortunately, Indiana was dying for out-of-state students at the time,
wow.
So I did get an academic scholarship.
Okay.
But I didn't pay zero, but I paid in-state tuition minus 50 or 60% or whatever it was. So my case was not that I was gonna be $100 and whatever thousand in debt.
Okay.
So that softened the blow.
And you had a father that was gainfully employed in a solid enough employment realm that if he wanted to, he could have paid it.
And my grandfathers both were very adamant about me going to college because neither one of them had.
Right.
And they helped.
So there you go.
They
so
helped.
you had a network of help. I didn't. So and that's normal for.
Well, you got the athletic scholarship.
I got lucky
because you're a baseball player.
I was a baseball player. Not exactly the giant, but I could run. So I could run, and I knew how to play the game. I managed to parlay that into a degree that hangs on my wall at home, but
that you're not using.
I'm definitely not using it. But it's awesome because it's cool. I got a nice little plaque for it. It's awesome, man.
And some great connections and some great memories.
But that's what
played
I got.
Some great baseball. I get it.
I got to play baseball, meet some really cool teammates, met guys playing ball all around the country, and then got to meet the people that went to college with me. So those connections, this phone is full of connections of people that I've made friends with 30-something years ago from going to college, both colleges. Mm-hmm. So to me, that experience that I didn't have to financially pay for is well worth it.
Yeah.
I can literally go to probably 40 states out of this country and lay my head down in someone's home welcoming, saying, hey, you can stay here while you're getting ready to go to over there. And that's a beautiful thing. That's to me, it's priceless.
And if you were in the job market
Right.
into a
Which
corporate
has happened.
job, then you have a checkbox that somebody else doesn't have. I get it.
Absolutely.
I get it.
And-
I'm not saying
and that-
college is bad.
No, it's
All
but
I said
is
on
it
this
worth it?
podcast was college is not for everyone. And I got silenced
Well, yeah.
for that.
Because
The company donates to both parties.
there you go. And again, so they look, they're playing the long game. That sounds like some Rothschild. That sounds like some what the rich people do. You got to keep both parties happy. So, hey, listen, I have people that say I can't even use my name to comment on here because they're so corporate that they don't want their response to reflect negatively in any way where it might affect their career. And I'm like, wow, that is unbelievable. But that's also showing you the power of social media and how strong that has gotten over the years. That they are literally going to take what you did in your, while you watching this sitting on the toilet, and you respond, and it could possibly go viral, and now your name pops up, and you're the representation of such and such corporation.
I got people that would be amazing guests on this show.
They can't do it.
They won't do it.
They can't do it.
Now, maybe in 10 years.
Yeah,
they'll
when they
do it
retire.
when they're not even retire, but when they're not working for that company that they're working for right now.
Yeah.
And it boggles my mind. Like, I would never want to be in a situation where
It's very restrictive.
I share an opinion based on limited information sometimes, and I get judged so harshly that I can't go to my job the next day.
Right, and
That's
that is,
crazy.
you know, I have. That's why I love this shirt, because it fits exactly who I am. What? That's a terrible idea.
What time we go?
What time we
Whose
leaving?
car are we taking?
Who's driving? You know, that's the way that I have lived. And let me tell you something. I would have probably been fired from every corporate job that I would have ever gotten because I was this outside dude playing ball and hanging out. Even in college, I'm still outside. You know, I was an outside dude. I was like, man, only thing that looks good on me in corporate America is my suits. Because I used to get, oh man, my interviews was dope. I used to get they would, wow, I'm like, where did you get those shoes? I'm like, man, that's not the question you should be asking me. That's when I knew. I'm like, are you interested in me or my tailor? You know, what's going on here? But either way, those are real deal stories. And I remember that was asked at a hotel on South Beach. We had this great interview going, man. I'm cooking. I'm giving this guy, because again, I was a physical guy, so I was a certified personal trainer at that time, and then I also had management experience or whatever. So I was going to come and take my park and recreational management experience and go and run I wanted to do the basically combine two of the jobs that they had open, which was running their gym and their physical fitness activities, along with the management of their other activities. But it was two jobs. And I told him, I said, look, it's not that hard. I can do both. You're a brand new hotel, this, that, and other. But we gotta do something with that salary. Can we get close? If I take both, can we do 1.5 the salary? His very next statement to me was, we could talk about that, but where do you shop? I just stared back across the rooftop. We were outside. I stared across the rooftop of this beautiful hotel, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a Chicago native, so I usually go back and get all my stuff up there. I mean, hey, if you want to go, I'll tell you where to go. And that's how my voice changed. And then I said, hey, look, I appreciate that, man. You know, but at that point, I knew the interview was over.
That wasn't what you wanted to talk about.
Because he by the time they came back and disrespected me with the offer, I was like, it was done anyway. And I definitely did not give him where I buy my clothes from. Believe that. And that was a long time ago. But matter of fact, 30 years ago right now. But the whole point of what what we're saying with all this fun stuff is, you gotta figure out why you want to do something, and that's why I think the educational system, which was bought and funded by some really horrible people back in the day, that really even bought some more horrible people bought the books that we still use today. It's a two name company. Either way, the books that fund the public schools, all they teach you how to do is to sit there for 8 hours a day, and so you can become an employee. Well, we're no longer that employees, that we're not a factory a country anymore. So that needs to change. There's somehow, as I probably stated before, you go to college and you start taking these general study classes, the same classes you just took in high school. Literally the same classes.
Yeah, the first two years is bullshit.
It's
complete bullshit.
You're taking the same classes you just took in high school. Instead of that, let those first 2 years be internships.
Well, at least they're letting, bright high school kids that are probably going to go to college, they're letting them out with an associate's degree a lot of times.
Yes.
Which is those 2 years of BS classes
Right.
they already took.
But when they get to college, they still don't go right into interning, because why would you go and have somebody take an academic track? I'm going to go I'm going to finance. I'm looking at it. I have done absolutely nothing in my life.
In finance.
I have not worked in the bank. I've not worked under a manager in the bank. I have not followed anybody around. I have no idea what type of career I could get in finance. I know nothing, but somebody told me I'm good at numbers, I should go to finance. So instead,
raising my hand right now.
Those first 2 years, soon as you get to school, you should be doing internships, different occupational statuses,
or take the skip year,
so you can pick.
Work for a year, let life kick your ass around, get some experience.
But see, when you do that, a lot of times, yes, what you're gonna have is they skip to Malu.
Okay, well maybe they're so successful in whatever they're doing, they don't need to go to college.
They're probably not that successful. It's just the fact that what success at 18, 19 years old is, I got a car.
And I made money.
And I made a little bit of money. I barely have any gas money left, especially if I moved out with 2 or 3 of my friends. I have nothing left, but I love the fun we're having. So I'm having a college-ish experience, except I'm not getting the benefits of it at the end of the day. Now, you can also go with the millionaire next door mentality, which is if you learn to save and invest early, you can still out-earn that guy with a degree, especially an advanced degree, if you learn to save and invest early. But that is still not being taught in our educational system. You learn nothing about money in the public school system, and even the private school system. They don't teach money and money management. And most high school graduates could not even tell you literally the base meaning of a stock, of what a stock is.
I mean,
or a bond.
I was 40 when I learned that money's not even real. It's just chasing an illusion.
That's all. And again, it's the movement of, and now with this digital
it's just
money,
a piece of it's cyber money in cyberspace that who the hell knows if it's got any value for real or not.
So here we are. We don't know whether we want to go to college or not go to college. We don't know whether Fanny Thought is right or wrong. Is 30 pay the girl.
We do know.
30 fighter.
We do know that those chicken chips were delicious.
That is the one conclusion that we've come out today with. But, the whole transgender thing, going to Congress, again, we're saying these things because we really want to just encourage you to think. That's all it is. It's not necessarily the splash story. You got to be able to think about why that story is a splash.
It's an important question.
And if that's the case, then what the hell are they trying to get me to ignore? That's happening right underneath our nose. Circus and bread, right? So we got to figure out why. Why are they pushing that story so hard? Why are they pushing to this whole transgender thing in sports? That's a big thing out here.
It's easy to answer. China paid off a bunch of politicians to weaken the United States. Next question. There's your conspiracy theory of the day, Vince. That's for next episode, maybe.
Spotify, you can see my face. It's extremely blank right now. So being as though you're listening, I want you to feel the silence in my face right now. Wow.
Sorry about that grenade to end the episode, man.
I love it, though. Hey, whether we can confirm nor deny, all we know is that we are here to make you think.
And they better think.
And that's what we want. So encourage your kids to do like Nick's doing. Because you're still too damn young to know what you want to do. Keep working hard until you make that decision. Don't slack off because you're saying I'm just gonna go do something else. No, bust your ass. If you gotta go to school, why not be the best person at the school? If you gotta go, why not be the best? If you gotta be there, why waste your time?
Give it what you got
and get something out of it, because it's a trade-off.
There's always opportunity cost.
As a football coach, I used to tell my kids, go to college. It'd be a beautiful thing if you got to go and get a professional experience. But the numbers likelihood is that none of y'all going to get to go to the professional ranks. But the school is going to make you practice, live, eat, sleep football. They're going to beat your body up. They're going to take it from you. What are you going to get from them? If it's not an even exchange, if you come out of there with a degree in basket weaving, they literally pimped you and you were absolutely nothing but you didn't even walk out of there with a whole retirement. At least get something from them. Give them your body, work hard, all this other stuff. Work towards being a pro. It was always told them, work towards being a pro. That means you're giving it everything you got, but at the same time, walk out of there with a piece of paper that's going to assist you, possibly, and at least and get something of substantiality, that a real degree that you could possibly use to go forward until you figure out what the rest of your life is. God damn it, if you're going to be there, be the best.
I mean, most people are going to change jobs every 2 to 3 years now anyway, and that might be a career change. I mean, I'm an example. I've had multiple careers, and some of them had nothing to do with the other ones. I was a freaking personal defense with a handgun instructor for 3 years when I lived in Nevada. That had nothing to do with my degree.
Nothing.
That had nothing to do with my experience. That had nothing to do with the fact that I was a lender and a banker and whatever else I did. It had to do with I helped a guy who happened to run the largest civilian training school in the country with a fraud case on his personal side.
Wow.
And he said, hey, do you love working here? And I didn't, because Bank of America sucks to work for, so screw you, Bank of America. Worst year and a half of miserability ever. But
They were terrible with my accounts too.
He was like, "Oh, you believe in the Second Amendment?" I was like, "That's the gun one, right?" Because I knew nothing about politics.
The gun one.
And I'm like, "Yeah, that's fine with me."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Why don't you come take our training?" I didn't even know what he did for a living when he invited me. I went to the training. I loved it. I was desperate to get out of banking, and I took the job.
Just like that. You never know when your next opportunity is. So always work your ass off, make contacts, speak to people, treat them with respect. And the biggest thing, learn their names. It's magic in learning names. This guy's in sales. I'm going to tell you right now, he's a wizard with names. An absolute wizard. I used to be when I was in sales. I got a little worse, but I'm bringing it back because I'm also trying to now teach my kids and people that look up to me. I'm like, hey, look, we got to pay a little bit of attention.
I'm not doing this podcast anymore without tequila. I'm bringing tequila next time.
He said that like it's hurting my feelings.
I'm bringing tequila now. I got Lalo and Herradura on my shelf at home. I'm bringing them both next time.
I just came from Mexico. You think you hurting my feelings? And on that note,
if you know anybody at Herradura or Lalo Tequila, send them this podcast because we're looking for a sponsor, and they would be a great one.
Or any other good ones with no additives in there. We take all and we'll do samples right here.
That's
so we'll
right.
tell you which one tastes
That's
best.
right.
We'll do the double blinds and all that stuff. So, Drew, we did it again.
We
did it again.
We're having some fun today.
It was all over the place, but I loved it. Let me tell you something. Again, if we don't do nothing at the end of these damn shows but to say, man, we made you think about something, we made you laugh about something, damn it,
Then we did our job.
then we did our job.
And we'll catch you next week on Podcast Twins.
After, you go ahead and remember to hit the subscribe button, definitely hit the like button, share this with somebody that need a laugh or somebody that need to think. Don't forget it, hit the bell icon. See you next week. Peace.